Good morning, grade 11. I hope you're doing okay and you're excited to get started with some online learning this week. We're mostly going to be working on your internal assessment and getting everything done up until the practical part. It might be that some of you can do the practical stuff at home, either using yourselves or probably shouldn't get you together in groups. It might be that we just have to do the exploration part of this and then shelve it until we can get back into school. But I think it's a good opportunity to get some research done. So let me just take you through these guidelines again. I'll whiz through because you have seen them before. It's a normal scientific method where you'll have a question, you have to state a hypothesis, and then plan an experiment that you will do. So we'll be able to do the first little bit of this. And it will be part of personal engagement will be through this, but this is the section we're going to be looking at, the exploration section. Okay, we can't do any analysis because obviously you don't have any data as yet. Personal engagement, it's clear with significant independent thinking, initiative or creativity. Okay, you can write a personal engagement statement if you want to. Some teachers think that they're a very good idea, some people don't think they're so good, but it's more about the design of your experiment all the way through, and are you doing something a little bit unique that other people haven't done before. Okay, the exploration. So we're going to be looking at the first two bits of this for this week. We'll start looking at methodology next week. Okay, so we want to look at the topic of the investigation is identified and a relevant and fully focused research question is clearly described. The background information provided for the investigation is entirely appropriate and relevant and enhances the understanding of the context of the investigation. So that's about the research that you are going to be doing. Your research question, you have to include your variables in it. Okay, so it's the effect of whatever your independent variable is on your dependent variable, or the effect of whatever x is on the rate of y, or something to do with y. Okay, the link between the investigation and the dependent variable, so the thing that you're measuring, should be established in the background. So why might that thing happen? What is the science behind it? Okay, these are what the moderators look for in your research question. And in your background information, okay, you will then be talking about your variables. All right. I'll go through that in a little bit more detail in a second. Okay, we want relevant background information. So broad general accounts won't get a 5 to 6. You have to go ahead and do a little bit more research. Okay. Just be careful with citations. I think it's a very good idea as you're starting doing this research to make sure that you start your bibliography right now. Okay, it has to get through, turn it in, and if it doesn't pass through, turn it in, then it can't be submitted to the IB. Okay, so we're going to be using Microsoft Teams mostly, okay, and I've given you some assignments to do. Every time I post an assignment, it comes up on the posts on the general page, okay, but you can also see it in assignments here, and I believe that if you click on assignments down the side, you should be able to do that. Okay, something that should have already been done is exercise physiology multiple choice questions. 2 of you have not done that yet. That was due March 4th. All right, I want that done by the end of tomorrow, please, for those 2 students. And then you're going to be going on to these 3. I've called it a quiz. It's just the type of form that I'm going to be using. Okay, what I suggest you do is start a document of your internal assessment and then copy bits from that document into the Microsoft form. I'll give you feedback on it and then you can make any edits that you want to. Okay, so for tomorrow, okay, I did give this assignment a while ago. Only 3 of you have done it, so obviously you need to have another look. What I want you to do, please, is... It's the student view so you can see it. I want you to write down your current research question, okay, and then list 5 sources you will use for your background research, okay. I think people had problems putting those in as links. Either just copy and paste in the link and then I can put it into a browser. All right, but I want to make sure that you're using good quality sources. No Wikipedia, no about.com, no nonsense like that, okay? So for Sunday's lesson, you will spend time looking for 5 sources, okay? Right, let's close that one. And the next thing you can do after that is with those sources, all right, then you are going to do the summary of your research. Okay, so I have put, again, we'll just look at student view over here. So source 1, whatever your first source is, you write a summary of that source. Okay, what does it show? A paragraph is probably about right. It has to be in your words. You can't copy and paste this because this is information that you will put in your background research. Okay, so source 1, I don't know, maybe it's a new scientist article about the effect of ATP on muscle contraction. You will summarize what that article says. Okay, so you need to do that for each one of your sources. Okay, that's the second thing that you're going to do next week. That's due on Thursday. And then also on Thursday, I would like you to have thought through your variables. Okay, what is your independent variable? What is your dependent variable? How are you going to be changing them? So you're going to say my independent variable is, I don't know, temperature measured in Celsius. Okay, the range. People get confused about range. Range is from the smallest value that you will use to the largest value that you will use. If we talked about the range of ages in our class, not including me, probably the range would be 15 to 17 years old. Okay, so if you're doing temperatures, you would say the range of my temperature would be from freezing, from 0 degrees Celsius, and the maximum temperature will be 100 degrees Celsius, for example. Okay. I want to know how you will change that independent variable. So if it was the example of temperature, we would say, how do you change the temperature? I would use a Bunsen burner, I would heat the water, I would use a thermometer to measure it. Okay, then what your dependent variable is, what is the thing you're measuring, and what equipment you will use to measure your dependent variable. Maybe it'll be a stopwatch, maybe you will take a video and then you will pause the video and, I don't know, do something like that. And then onto your control variables. What are the things that you should keep the same? Students often ask how many control variables you should have. There is not one answer. Okay, but when you're using human subjects, if you guys are using human subjects, there should be a lot of control variables. How can you know that it's only your independent variable having the impact? How do you know it's not that they've just drunk a Red Bull, or that they didn't get any sleep last night, or that they've already run 6 miles today, or that they haven't run for 7 months and they haven't done any exercise? Okay, so I want control variables. For each one, state why and how it will be controlled. So I want 3 or 4 sentences for each control variable, please. Sometimes in assignments, people put these as a table. If you want to make a table in your internal assessment and then just copy bits out to put into this form, that's absolutely fine. Okay, I was trying to keep this video to 5 minutes and I've gone to 8, so I need to get better at being a bit shorter. I will try my best. Let's try and have an online chat sometime in the week, and yeah, please let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you have a good week. Thank you. Bye-bye.